In our previous tutorial, we demonstrated on how to host a static website on GitLab without using a terminal. And now, we'll show you how to do the same thing but using the terminal. We'll use the Windows command prompt, but the steps will work in any terminal like Git Bash or Mac or Linux terminals. The first thing that you want to ensure is that your project is in a folder, and mine is called GitLab Pages with terminal, okay? The second thing, you need to ensure that the main HTML file is named as strictly as index.html. You can rename other files however you want, but the main one should be index.html. Now the third step is to ensure that you have a repository on our GitLab, and now we'll create one. You need to click on the plus icon on the GitLab homepage, plus create new. It's a new project or repository. It will take you to another page where you create a blank project. I'll call mine. And then project URL, you need to click on the drop down menu and click on the users, and then select the deployment target. It is GitLab Pages. Later in this tutorial, I'll show you how to change the repository from private to public. That is in case if you miss it on this page, maybe you are in a hurry. Let's create the project. And I now have the repository created. Now, what we need to do next is ensure that the project in our local folder is bundled up using Git. And I'm going to show you how. And in this stage, I need to open the command prompt on this folder. And this is how you do it. You simply need to click on this page. When this path is highlighted, you need to type CMD on your keyboard. And this should appear, okay? And the first command that you need to type is git init. Sorry, git. We then need to git add everything. Now this is an asterisk. Now after adding everything that is in the folder, we need to type another command called git commit m first commit, and then hit the enter key. After typing that command, we need to create a branch, and already the master has been created, the master branch. You can choose to go with the branch main. However, you'll face an error whenever you are using GitLab. We documented that error in our previous episode. If you want to solve it, make sure that you check our previous episode, okay? However, for us, we are going with the branch master, okay? And we are doing this intentionally so that we don't face any errors. We are pushing the project to GitLab, okay? I'll then need to link the remote server or the remote link here. And this is how you do it. You go back to your browser. You need to copy this command, git remote add origin. I'll copy, go back to the terminal and paste it, Control V, and then hit OK. And then we need to push the project online, okay? Git push origin UF, and then you need to input your branch where you have committed everything, master, and then you should see some activity. Our project has been pushed online, okay? Let's go back to our browser and refresh this page. We'll be on the branch main. If you want to see your project files, you need to make sure you toggle on the right branch so that you can see your files. And now you can see everything is here. The second thing that you need to do, going to the left part of the screen, it's called deploy. There's an option called deploy, and you should see such an option called pages. You need to click on it. Now, after clicking on it, you need to type a lot of nonsense. Just type as I'm doing it, LTS, because it is of no use. I'll show you how to properly configure everything. Here, npm ci, and then click next. And then next, and then I need to select the right branch where we are committing everything. I will select the master. If you are on another branch, you can use it, and then I'll click the commit. Now the next step that you need to make is head over to your settings and then click the general. It will bring you to this page. You need to click on the visibility and make sure that everything is public, and then you can save the changes. To this point, the static website has not been hosted because we have not properly configured the GitLab YAML file, because GitLab server requires you to configure the YAML file and give directions on how the static website will be hosted. And that is the most important thing. We'll need to go back to our repository homepage, and then on the branch main, you need to select the master branch or any other branch that you are using. And something that we have to configure is the gitlab-yml file. Click on it, and then we'll edit the file here. Edit, and then we'll edit the single file. This is how it looks like, but we need to properly configure so that our website will be hosted on GitLab Pages, okay? So we then need to go back, and on this folder, I have the right GitLab YAML file. So I'll open it and copy everything. It will open in VS Code. So I need to copy everything. I'll make sure that I link the file where you can download it in the description below. Copy everything, and then go back to the browser, delete everything, select everything, and then delete. Then I'll control V, and since we are using the branch master, it has already been configured. If you're using another branch, make sure that you rename it, and make sure that everything is as it is. The only thing that you need to change is just the branch here, just on the end. And then I'll commit the changes. Yeah, commit the changes. And after some few minutes, you should see that this icon has changed to green. To confirm that the website is live, we need to go back to the deploy and then go to the pages. And here, if you click the link, it will take you to the hosted website right now. And here it is. However, there's something wrong with the URL. I don't want it to have weird characters. I can create a custom domain. How do you do that? You go back to the pages and then you click on the domains and settings. You need to untick the use unique domain and then save the changes. You need to click on the overview so that you can see the changes too. And now it has been renamed to the website URL that we want, that you can easily remember, okay? As much as this website has been hosted, someone who doesn't have a GitLab account will not be able to view it. We need to make the website totally public. And just in case, the website, if tested on another browser where you are not logged into a GitLab account, is not visible to the public, how do you do that? You then need to go back to your repository and then click on the settings where you see all these options. Go to the general where you'll see all these options. You need to scroll down to where you'll see visibility, project features and permissions. Click on it and then scroll down to where you'll see pages. Somewhere there's a pages. This pages. Most of the time when you are hosting your static page or a website, this option is always only project managers. Okay, you need to change it to everyone with access. Okay, and make sure that you save the changes here. After that, anyone can access the website even if they don't have a GitLab account. And we need to ensure that the changes that are online are synced on the files offline. Now, how do you ensure that they are both synced? You need to go back to your terminal and then type this command, git pull, and everything should be synced. Remember, we added a YAML file on the home page, and in our local folder, it has been added the same way we configured it, so that anytime that you're making changes here, they will be able to push online, okay, without any interference. And that is how you host a static website on GitLab. If you want to do the same without a terminal, make sure that you check out our previous episode or tutorial. And that should be it. Make sure that you follow us and be productive.